Oddly enough, Atlanta has the largest concentration of alumni from every SEC school and every ACC school outside of that school's home state. Very, very interesting. So it's the largest alumni association for the University of Florida outside the state of Florida, right? Largest for Virginia Tech outside of Virginia or whatever it might be for the ACC. So you expect people to care about their universities. Here we live in the South, but people don't expect me to live in the state of Georgia and be quite this over the top with the whole thing, because you're not even seeing sort of the rest of the office. I mean, the rest of the office, there's flags and clocks and all sorts of things. I actually do have my kids up, but they're just not as prominent as most of this is. So, although I care about them more, but people come in and they're like, "You're kidding." I mean, don't you fear that people won't hire you because we're an advertising agency, because of your affection for a given football team? And I said, well, number one, it's not really the football team, it's the university. And number two, how can you have a problem with anyone who cares deeply about something? My agency became the advertising agency for the University of Florida about 5 years ago, and we're the ones who launched the Foundation for the Gator Nation campaign. My wife and I have given an endowment to the university, so we're very much into the university itself. We're actually not big financial contributors to the athletic association. We kind of felt like we could do more if we gave through the foundation. Yeah. I actually got my first Billy Donovan ball before we won either of our national championships. And then I got the 2 championship balls, but I've never had a chance from each of those years to find a way to get Billy to sign them. This is my Spurrier ball and my first Urban Meyer ball. We have several at home that my kids have. I think this was Urban's first year. Got my little Tim Tebow helmet here. These prints represent, in this case, the 2006 victory, and you can see in here all of the teams that we beat. So there was UCF and Southern Miss and Kentucky, Auburn, LSU, Georgia, Vanderbilt, South Carolina, it goes on and on. So it's a little depiction of all the teams till we finally beat Ohio State. And there's a little grill that you can, tailgate grill, set out, and cooler, they got coolers and stuff. It's kind of silly, but snow globe, which makes no sense in Gainesville. This is the most recent one that was in Miami, 2008, and this was out in the desert, which is really a lot of fun. I went to the game by myself, and Ohio State people were everywhere. I mean, literally everywhere, and I was surrounded by them, and I was kind of on an island on my own, and I don't know if you remember, but the opening kickoff, the Ohio State star ran it back for a touchdown. And I mean, I was crushed. It's like I'd been kicked in the gut. And this Ohio State fan in front of me turned around and said, if you can't stop that from happening by kicking through the end zone, we're going to do that all night long. And I said, well, it's going to be a long night. But at halftime, we had pretty much had our way with them. So I politely tapped him on the shoulder and said, if you can't stop our defensive ends, we're going to do that all night long. A friend of mine got me this. This is signed by Danny and Coach Spurrier and Coach Meyer and Chris Leak. But he gave it to me actually before we found out that we were going to play for the national championship. So he didn't even realize that he was handing me something that represented our first national championship coach and starting quarterback, and our second national championship coach and starting quarterback. So it actually gained value rather quickly. So he's asked for it back, but as you can see, it's still here. And it plays a different one every time you open it. It's just play after play. So somebody starts talking to me, I get a little distracted now.
3rd and 10, 28-yard line. Purple dropping back to throw. Thompson fires the ball over the middle. Touchdown!
Most people don't like this very much.